What's up, everybody? And today I thought we'd take a break from all the absolute chaos that's going on around the world right now with all the insane news and watch some Fat Electrician and just sit back, have some fun, listen to who I think is the best storyteller on YouTube, tell an incredible story. This is Winter Soldier ODs on Meth becomes Unkillable. Aimo Koivunen? I don't know how to say his name, but I want to give a little bit of a warning before we get started. As you can probably tell, I'm not as energetic. I have some sort of flu or sickness. I've got the sorest throat and what could be an ear infection on my right ear. So you got to thank my kids for constantly getting me sick. That's what they do, kids these days. They go to school and they get sick and they just pass it on to the parents, and I am struggling. So if I'm not as energetic as I usually am, I do apologize. But this is going to be fun. I'll leave a link down below to the Fat Electrician's video. I'll be very surprised if you're not already following his stuff. If you are not following, let's get him to 2 million subscribers at 1.93 million right now. I know that there are people probably watching this who are not subscribed to him, so go over to his channel and subscribe. Let's get him to 2 million. Before we get started, as always, check out Chug, 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. And I say this a lot. I do genuinely say this a lot. And I've had this sponsor now for quite some time, nearly a year now. And I've never done that before. And it's because I genuinely believe in this product. I think it's genuinely really good. You can get free customization. As you can see, they've done the Morale logo right there. You can get 10% off, link down below. It's made here in the UK with sustainable materials by a small business, and they do ship to the US. So if you haven't already, check out the link down below. Also, check out Morale, Boom and Boom. This is my new business. If you back to the Kickstarter, just so you know, the drink will most likely be here in this building with me next week. What day is it today that this is going out? It's going out on Sunday. So yeah, next week or the week after. My presumption is it'll be the end of next week, but you can never guarantee these things. They always take longer than you think. If you're interested in the outdoors, if you love the outdoors as much as I do, check out the Instagram right here. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's watch this. I don't want to do too much talking. I want to watch this, have some fun with you guys, and also just kind of get my head out of all this crazy news that's been going on this week. Let's have some fun with an absolutely amazing YouTube channel.
Doing meth while skiing. Did I get your attention?
Let me start that again because the volume was quite low.
Military Special Forces guys doing meth while skiing. Did I get your attention? Today we're talking about Aimo Koivunen, the Finnish Special Forces soldier that took his entire unit's supply of crank and then proceeded to troll the Soviets and himself for 2 weeks about it. Before this video gets too far off the rails, we do have a sponsor, and that sponsor is We the People Holsters. They probably have the best quality to...
I'm going to skip the sponsor because I'm not supposed to show sponsors on this channel.
He was going to charge you. If you wanted to check him out, I'll have a link, and it is a group of Special Forces Finnish soldiers have just finished conducting a 3-day-long ski patrol and are returning back to base when they are ambushed by an entire platoon of Soviet soldiers. They have nowhere near enough men to fight back. They have to retreat and get away. In order to do so, they go off the beaten path and attempt to blaze their own trail through unpacked snow. Aimo, as fate would have it, would be the point man, having to do the majority of the work as far as beating down the unpacked snow goes. Now, they've been out skiing for 3 days straight. Everybody's exhausted, but the level of work that Aimo is having to dish out is almost unbearable, and he's unable to set a pace that is going to allow them to escape. And the Soviets are catching up. So Aimo decides to take the high road, reaches into his pocket, and pulls out a bottle, and inside of that bottle is all of his and his buddy's supply of Pervitin. Aimo had been given all of it because everybody knew that Aimo didn't care for taking Pervitin, and this meant that Aimo would keep it safe and nobody else would dip into it when they weren't supposed to. And if you don't know, Pervitin is the German miracle drug that came out in 1938, also known as meth. And just to be clear, this isn't like Jesse Pinkman cooking it in the back of a van, putting chili powder in it. This is high-quality pharmaceutical grade nose torque, okay? This is inhalable horsepower, and this man's about to take some.
This reminds me of, did you ever see that video where they gave a bunch of soldiers LSD to see if they would be better soldiers? And then it was like during World War II or 1 or something like that. And then the video cuts to like an hour later, and like one of them's up a tree, one of them's lay on the floor, and it's just an absolute. If you've not seen that video, just Google soldiers on LSD or something. I think it's like a black and white video. It's really old, but it's hilarious.
Nose torque, okay? This is inhalable horsepower, and this man's about to take some.
Goddamn right.
So Aimo pops off the lid and he wants to dump a single pill into his hand, which is the recommended dose. The problem is the Pervitin has been sitting in his pocket, half of it warm against his body, the other half getting cold against the outside of his jacket, and it is now congealed into one gigantic meth nugget, and the whole nugget falls into his mitten. He's unable to break off a singular piece because, well, he has mittens on and he doesn't have the dexterity, so he says, fuck it, and eats the entire nugget of meth, which was roughly 30 pills at one point. Okay, fast forward like 45 seconds. Aimo feels incredible. He is a new man. He has gone from dragging ass to tripping balls, and he has had a life-altering revelation that he's been put on this planet to do two things and two things only, and that is to outrun the Soviets and steal catalytic converters, and those aren't even going to be invented for like another 35 years. So guess what we're doing? We're outrunning these Soviets. This man begins blazing a path through unpacked snow quicker than anybody ever has, ever. And
it's insane that we didn't have cameras back then. Do you know what I mean? If we could have caught this type of stuff on camera, could you imagine?
The Soviets are just watching these guys take off like a rocket, like...
They've gone to plaid.
Over the course of the next hour, they managed to outrun the Soviets so bad that they just gave up. So they finally stopped, they regrouped, they wanted to see if anybody had been shot, they wanted to make sure everybody was doing okay before they carried on with their mission and journeyed back home. At that point, Aimo did not sit still. He is pacing, he's walking around, he's talking to himself, and that's when his buddies realized, oh boy, Aimo is higher than draft pussy on a fucking extension ladder, we gotta do something. So they decide it's probably a good idea to take away all of his ammunition and his knife so he doesn't hurt himself or somebody else. So they take the ammo away from him, they turn around, they go to put it in somebody else's backpack so they can carry it, turn back around, Aimo is fucking gone. Fast forward an unspecified amount of time later.
They've got to make a movie about this. It would be like a comedy, of course.
And Aimo wakes up, looks around, has no idea where he is. You see, Aimo had blacked out. And when I say blacked out, I don't mean he laid down and fell asleep. I mean he proceeded to ski 62 miles in a random direction and then laid down and fell asleep. And he is now just waking up, realizing that he has no recollection of which direction he went or came from, and he has no idea where he is. At this point, a Soviet soldier hops out from behind a tree and begins shooting at Aimo. Aimo panics, gets to his feet, grabs his gun, lifts it, fires at the Soviet soldier, click, fuck. His friends had taken all of his ammunition. So he grabs his empty gun and throws it at the Soviet soldier. It hits him and he explodes into a pile of snow. Aimo, what the fuck? Looks up. Oh, it was just a tree branch covered in snow the whole time. He is now hallucinating. So...
Oh my god. Has anyone, let me know in the comments if you've ever hallucinated before from not just drugs, but tiredness or anything like that. It's not a fun thing. It's not fun. It's not as cartoonish as what this is, because obviously this is got a lot of drugs in it, but like it starts off with just like visuals of colors and stuff like that. And if you're really sleep deprived, you'll see some weird shit. I've seen some of the lads in training in the Marines really like hallucinating from sleep deprivation, and it's weird.
Not really knowing what else to do, he straps his skis back on and proceeds to ski around looking for his friends or anything, really. And after an hour or two, thank God, he sees his friend's camp off in the distance and they have a fire going. It's all gonna be okay. We're good. He's gonna be saved. So Aimo takes off skiing towards the camp. He's skiing. Aimo skis right into the middle of the camp. Cool guy power slide. Psh. Friends, did you miss me? He looks at his buddies. His buddies look at him. He looks at his buddies. Those aren't his buddies. Those are the Soviets. Shit. Time to go. Aimo takes off again. The Soviets attempt to chase him for a little bit, but I mean, the man is basically tweakers on ice right now. You've got no chance at actually catching him. So Aimo then proceeds to ski until he's tired, and then he lays down and goes to sleep just on the ground outside. He wakes up, it's dark out, he can't see anything, and he realizes, hey, I'm hungry. So he gets a fire going, and then he walks around grabbing some pine buds and leaves and whatever else he can find, sticking it in his canteen cup, grabs some snow, puts that in there, cooks it over the fire, and kind of mashes it all together in this like pine bud stew gruel type thing. He eats it, he thinks it's fucking delicious, one of the best meals he's ever had, because, well, Meth. Then he goes back to bed. Wakes back up, still full of energy. Decides that he's gonna go look for his buddies more. He skis around. He skis and he skis all day long. And then he finds a cabin. He walks up to the cabin, grabs a doorknob. It's real. It's not a hallucination. So, next thing, he strips all the copper out of it. No, I'm just kidding. He opens the door because it's unlocked, because this is a tradition in this part of the world where there's, you know, people could freeze to death. You just leave the cabin unlocked in case somebody is in Aimo's situation. You don't want them to freeze to death. So, Aimo goes inside. He gets a fire going. Now, because of the meth, Aimo elects to light the fire in the middle of the cabin on the floor rather than in the fireplace.
Oh
because,
my God.
obviously. He then proceeds to go to bed, and all throughout the night, the fire keeps getting hotter and hotter, so he keeps like shimmying away from it and shimmying away from it over and over again. And then finally...
How do we know this though? Like, was he able to like recollect everything that happened? Because surely if he's tripping balls, he doesn't know really what happened. How do we know this actually happened?
His back hits a wall and he wakes up and realizes that the entire cabin is on fire. So he's like, shit. So he gets up, goes outside the cabin, puts his back against the wall of the outside of the cabin, and then goes back to sleep. Meth. So Aimo wakes up again. It's dark out. He hears growling off in the distance as there's a pair of yellow eyes staring at him. He looks behind him, the cabin completely burnt to a crisp as these eyes keep getting closer and closer, and there's growling, and out of the shadows leaps Hugh Jackman. Wait, what the fuck? Sorry, a Wolverine, not the Wolverine. A Wolverine, still, I mean, it's better, but not a lot better, okay? This thing is 65 pounds of teeth, claws, fur, and bad attitude.
65 pounds? How big do these things get? How big does a Wolverine get? I gotta Google this shit. I don't know this stuff. How big does a Wolverine get? Typical Wolverine reaches 24 to 40 inches in length, not including its bushy tail. With the shoulder height, I didn't say, yeah, I mean, whatever. 14 to 18 inches tall. And it can be anywhere between 18 to 40 pounds or 18 to 26 if it's a female. Though some sources note males can reach 66 pounds. Good God.
And this thing will absolutely kill Aimo if Aimo lets it. Aimo is now in a fight for his life, so he pulls out his knife and begins fighting a fucking Wolverine while tripping out on meth. He is kicking and punching and stabbing this Wolverine, and he finally gets on top of the Wolverine as he straddles it and plunges his knife into the Wolverine's chest as the life from the Wolverine leaves its body and it falls limp to the ground. At that point, Aimo remembers, wait a minute, my friends took my knife.
Yeah.
He looks at his knife. That's not his knife. That's his compass, and now it's broke. Shit. I mean, also kind of cool, though, because he just killed a Wolverine with a compass. He looks down at the dead Wolverine. He's sitting on top of a log. He had hallucinated the entire thing again. Meth. So Aimo gets up off the log that he just killed.
This is going to be one of the best stories that the Fat Electrician's told. I feel like it sounds like an absolutely dreadful night out.
Looking around, not knowing what to do. In the darkness of night, he sees a fire off in the distance. So he straps on his skis and starts making his way towards that fire. And he's skiing, and he's skiing, and he's skiing all night long. And he's going, and he's going, and this fucking fire is not getting any closer. It's almost like it's running from him, and he keeps going towards it and towards it longer and longer. And finally, dawn breaks, and Aimo realizes that he's been chasing the North Star, thinking it was a fire for like the last 8 hours. Because meth. So now it's morning. Aimo still has no idea where he's going. So it's like, well, better find some copper. I mean, my friends. He's got to find his friends. So he just starts skiing around looking for any signs of human life at this point. And he's skiing and he's skiing and he's going and he's going. And he finally comes across this abandoned German forward observational base. And he starts making his way towards it. The problem with this was whenever the Germans abandoned something in World War II, they usually booby-trapped it. And that's what happened here because Aimo skis over a landmine. Blowing up his foot,
Does he actually ski over landmine? Watch this whole story actually only be 10 minutes that he's been away from his lads.
throwing him to the ground, and Aimo's like, that's it. I'm dead for sure. There's no way I'm making it out of this. And he just lays there. We have no idea how long he laid there. He said he laid there for a week, but that dude's high as a kite on meth. He could have been there for 45 minutes. We have no idea. But he lays there and he lays there, literally too high to die. And then he just gets bored and he's like, fine, I'll live. And he gets up and he starts walking back towards the base.
Fine, I guess I'll just live because I'm not going to die. Imagine tripping so much that you're thinking that you're dying and it's taking too long that you get bored.
again. He makes it all the way to the building, you know, grabs a doorknob. Well, at least the base is real. The landmine sure as fuck was real. The base better be real. The base is real, grabs a doorknob, opens the door.
Boom.
That's booby trap 2.
Yeah.
Blows up in his face, yeets him 30 yards the other direction as he lands flat on his back with the door on top of him. And he's like, okay, now for sure I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm making it out of this. I'm done. And he just lays there. He completely gives up and he just waits for death to come get him. And he's laying there, and 1 day passes, and 2 days pass, and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7 days pass, and he's still just laying there like, this is taking forever. And then finally, some Finnish soldiers come up and are like, hey, do you want some help? And he's like, holy shit, yeah, that'd be great. So the Finnish guys start making their way over to him, and then one of them steps on a fucking landmine, and then the other 2 Finnish soldiers are like, well, we can only save one of you, and we're gonna save the guy that we came with. If we get this guy saved, we'll let him know to come back and save you later. Peace, goodbye. And just left him laying there again. So he thinks to himself, maybe if I can survive a couple more days, I might actually make it out of this. So he starts trying. He gets a little fire going next to him. He starts melting snow in his canteen cup to drink water to hydrate. A Siberian Jay at some point lands next to him, and he takes a ski pole and smacks it to death, pulls the Siberian Jay over to him, grabs it, and just Ozzy Osbourne's this bird raw. Just eat.
What the fuck is this story? It sounds like a fever dream.
Eats the whole thing, trying to get any amount of calories inside of him. And then after 3 more days, they come back and they save Aimo, and he completely blacks out. Aimo comes to. He's in a Finnish hospital where he's informed that he has been missing for 14 days, and they found him 250 miles from where he originally departed as friends. He now weighs a mere 95 pounds and has a resting heart rate currently of 200 beats per minute, 14 days after taking hold of the meth. So Aimo proceeds to do the logical thing, makes a full recovery, and lives a long, happy life until passing away at 71 in 1989 because he's Finnish, and that's just how they get down. Yeah, if you're not picking up what I'm trying to tell you, this man actually may have seen Star Wars, the original series, in theater. Okay? Could you imagine him taking his kids to the movie theater just being like, we didn't call it the Force back in my day. We called it Pervidin. Seriously, it's pretty funny that the only 2 Finnish soldiers that I know off the top of my head are Aimo and Simo Hoya. Simo, deadliest sniper of all time, over 500 kills. Aimo, the most unkillable tweaker ever. Don't worry, this story keeps going. Meth. Aimo's son was interviewed about it.
How is this like, how was this recorded though? Surely he was tripping so much that he doesn't even recollects what happened. Maybe, I don't know. I've never done meth, so who knows.
His dad, to which he said that his dad never really talked much about his time in service, but there was one point later in Aimo's life when he decided to write in to a local newspaper that was having a competition for who had the best, craziest military story ever. And he wrote his story down, mailed it in, and he was informed, congratulations, you've got second. How the fuck did this guy get second place with this story? Did Simo Hoya enter the same competition? Because that's the only logical explanation, other than that there was some Karen on the judge board that was like, I don't know, this story seems a little too unbelievable if you ask me. Bah. To which my argument is, look at him. Do you think that guy's lying about this story? Do you really? Because homeboy looks like he's about to hit a T intersection and go straight, okay? That's not hair product. He just moves that fucking fast now. There's no way he's lying about this story, and I'm legitimately mad he didn't win this fucking competition for some reason. Okay.
Wait, we don't know who came first then? We actually don't know?
This story is getting out of hand. We need to end this video. I guess, in conclusion, it's important to bear in mind with how incredible this story is that Aimo is the exception and not the example. You should not do drugs because they are in fact bad for you, okay? Don't do drugs. Also, don't fight the Finnish in winter in Finland where they have home field advantage. It's just a bad time. Anyways,
field
thank you for
advantage.
watching Best Way to Support the channel. Go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. So Aimo decides to take the high road, and if you don't know, stupid. A fucking Siberian Jay lands remotely close to him. He takes a ski pole, fucking whatcha? Grabs this. Oh, I hate everything. What a terrible blooper. Military special.
That was really good. I probably wasn't as energetic and giving as much commentary on it as I usually would. I do apologize. I'm not very well. Please go over to the Fat Electrician, give him some love because he is the best storyteller on YouTube. I've said for a long time he's one of the best. At this point, I feel like he is the best. He genuinely is that good. He's done a video recently. Let me see if I can find it real quick. one of his most recent ones. Excuse me. Yeah, the most gangster Green Beret, Robert Howard. Obviously, if it's about a Green Beret, I've got to do that video. So expect that one in the next week or two. If I'm feeling better, it's a bit of a longer video. So yeah, I will check that out in the next couple of weeks. I just wanted to get away from all this crazy news that's going on right now with all this shit that's been happening. Let me know in the comments what you think. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below, and check out Morale if you haven't already. I'm going to go rest, and hopefully tomorrow I'm feeling a little bit better, because I would really like this week to start streaming more Battlefield and get ready for Battlefield 6, which comes out quite soon actually. It's like less than a month now, which is really exciting. I'm very, very excited for Battlefield 6. We're going to be playing it here on the channel, live streaming it a lot, while also I'm going to be live streaming, packing orders for Morale and just chatting to you guys, which is going to be really exciting. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up real soon. So I need to go get some rest and feel a little bit better. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.